The date is January 2013. FPSRussia, the YouTube channel, is among the top 10 YouTube channels. It's this massive steamroller just making its way to the top. Everybody loves this channel. It's an awesome channel, right? Well, it's unstoppable. What could stop it? It's a gigantic YouTube channel with a huge following. January 6, 2013, a man by the name of Keith Ratliff is found dead with a single gunshot wound to his head. Keith Ratliff was a partner of Kyle Myers, aka FPSRussia. He was the man behind the camera, the puppet master that made everything happen. He had the licenses to get these exotic weapons, firearms, and make everything happen that you see on FPSRussia. Found, shot, dead. Alright, well, all of this happened around the time of a big gun debate. And I also don't know if you all remember or not, but around this time, a lot of gun enthusiasts that had big followings that were, I guess you could say, famous. People who spoke out on the Second Amendment, who supported the Second Amendment, were turning up dead left and right. I can't even remember all the people that had died around that time. But another one is, we had Keith Ratliff, January 6th, 2013. Okay, well, May 3rd, I believe it was. Not May 3rd. I think February 3rd. Maybe it wasn't May. I don't know. No, it was only a month later. February 3rd, I think, was the date that they found Chris Kyle. And you know who Chris Kyle was. He was the sniper, the huge sniper that they created the movie American Sniper after. Right? He was taking these veterans. He was trying to help out, take these veterans to a gun range and shoot, blow off some steam and have a good time and get to know other veterans and all that stuff. Well, this vet, or so-called vet, whatever he was, shot Chris Kyle in the back of the head at the gun range. And this is not even a month after Keith Ratliff's death. So, yeah. It is now 2019. They still have not solved Keith Ratliff's death. This guy always carried a gun on him, if not multiple guns. And there's a family member being quoted as saying, not sure how it was exactly put, but Keith would have drawn on somebody if he felt like they were threatening his life. And he hadn't gone, there was no evidence that he had gone for his gun at all. So this means he either knew the people and were comfortable around them, or they came as somebody that you could trust, aka law enforcement, ATF, you name it. You're not going to pull a gun out on a police officer unless you're just insane and a criminal. But, yeah. I'm not saying that's what happened, but it's mighty strange that this case has still not been solved. And that's generally how it goes from past incidents in history that have not been solved or haven't been solved for the longest time. And then it ends up being that a police officer was involved or something of the sort, right? Or it could have been people going in posing as police officers. You never know. We don't know. This case should have been so huge. This channel, YouTube channel, was so huge and yet so small. Little to none was their media coverage. It's crazy. Like, I don't know many people that even know about this. Well, they don't talk about it if they do. It's crazy. So, yeah. This Keith Ratliff had just started taking to Twitter, too, talking about Second Amendment gun rights. And then days later, he's found dead with a gunshot wound to his head. Explain that. It's just too coincidental. I'm not saying I know what happened. I'm just saying it reeks to high heaven, and it's pointing to one direction, really. That's what my head is telling me. Because what's even crazier is, let's see, let me look at this. Kyle Myers, right? The guy behind FPSRussia. A guy on the camera that did the Russian accent and all of that. Just 2 months later, after Keith Ratliff's death, the ATF raided his house. Took a bunch of firearms, and their reason for raiding his house was this. And I'll read this off to you. Quote, ATF spokesman Richard Soes, something of the sort, said the justification for the search was that Myers was using explosives and getting paid for it via YouTube. Unquote. That's why they raided his house. FPSRussia had been going on for years successfully with no hiccups or issues at all from law enforcement or anything. And out of nowhere, the man behind the camera that could make everything happen is found shot to death. And then the guy in front of the camera that makes the videos, house gets raided. Is that them trying to scare him? Or what? Or am I out of bounds here thinking such a thing? Again, I'm not saying this is why all this happened. Just from a person that sits around and thinks about stuff, this is all way too coincidental to me. Way too coincidental. And that was only the first time that his house was raided. The second time was even more absurd. Right? Okay, Kyle Myers was, of course, destroyed by the death of his close friend and partner, the YouTube channel FPSRussia. Alright? So he had stopped making videos for a while. And of course he didn't have his friend's help in obtaining exotic weapons and whatnot. But anyway, he still got back into it and was making weapons. I mean, they made a company that fabricates weapons and all things, weapons, accessories, and whatnot. But anyway, he started making videos again, shooting weapons, shooting guns, and August 2017, the ATF raids his house again. This time, it was after Myers was alleged to have received 25 grams of hash oil through the mail. Why would a YouTube star this big, with as much money as he's made and continues to make, be receiving 25 grams of hash oil in the mail? And they also said that he was distributing this. This was for distribution. That's a felony right there, ladies and gentlemen. A big old whopping felony. And you know what that means? You cannot own any firearms if you're a felon, convicted felon. Let alone even be around them. So guess what that means? Bye-bye, FPSRussia. One of the top 10 channels on the YouTube platform. Well on its way to #1 spot. Bye-bye. They killed off the puppet master. They silenced the guy in front of the camera, Kyle Myers. He's no longer able legally to make videos with firearms because he can't even be around them. That's if the felony conviction stuck. I'm not sure if it did or not, but it probably did. I'm not sure if this was all set up or, I mean, it makes no sense to me why Kyle would be buying this stuff online or whatever and having it shipped to him and then selling it. Why would he need to do that? He would not need to do that. If he really was low on money, there was many other ways he could have gone about obtaining it legally. As big as a star this dude was. Right? Anyway, yeah. That's what I want to talk about. And it's funny that the ATF gets mentioned again in this video, because just a few videos back, in a video of mine titled "Your Guns and How They Will Confiscate Them," we talk briefly about the ATF in that video as well, and what they are capable of doing. So, yeah, if you've seen that video, you know what they're capable of. But anyway, that's all I got to say. This is Atlas. Thanks for tuning in. Subscribe to my channel if you like these kind of videos. Leave some comments, like, dislike, whatever. It's Sunday, so I'm going to try and drop this video tonight. But anyway, love you guys. You all take care. And remember, we're in a battle. The first shot just hasn't rang out yet. Godspeed.